Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Scholes. As I said 2 weeks ago, last week, the Folktale Project was on vacation because, well, I was on vacation. And I was in the New England state of Maine, enjoying the coast, and I wanted to bring you some stories from Maine as a kind of vacation gift. This is Father Moody's Black Veil. In 1770, the Reverend Joseph Moody died at York, Maine, where he had long held the pastorate of a church, and where in his later years his face was never seen by friend or relative. At home, when anyone was by, on the street, and in the pulpit, his visage was concealed by a double fold of crape that was knotted above his forehead and fell to his chin, the lower edge of it being shaken by his breath. When first he presented himself to his congregation with features masked in black, great was the wonder and long the talk about it. Was he demented? His sermons were too logical for that. Had he been crossed in love? He could smile, though the smile was sad. Had he been scarred by accident or illness? If so, no physician knew of it. After a time it was given out that his eyes were weakened by reading and writing at night, and the wonder ceased, though the veiled parson was less in demand for weddings, christenings, and social gatherings, and more besought for funerals than he had been. If asked to take off his crape, he only replied, "We all wear veils of one kind or another, and the heaviest and darkest are those that hang about our hearts. This is but a material veil. Let it stay until the hour strikes when all faces shall be seen and all souls reveal their secrets." Little by little the clergyman felt himself enforced to withdraw from the public gaze. There were rough people who were impertinent, and timid people who turned out of their road to avoid him, so that he found his outdoor walks and meditations almost confined to the night, unless he chose the graveyard for its seclusion, or strolled on the beach and listened to the wallowing and grunting of the black boars, the rocks offshore that had laughed on the night when York witch went up the chimney in a gale. But his life was long and kind and useful, and when at last the veiled head lay on the pillow it was never to rise from consciously, a fellow clergyman came to soothe his dying moments and commend his soul to mercy. To him one evening Father Moody said, "Brother, my hour is come, and the veil of eternal darkness is falling over my eyes. Men have asked me why I wear this piece of crape about my face, as if it were not for them a reminder and a symbol, and I have borne the reason so long within me that only now have I resolved to tell it. Do you recall the finding of young Clark beside the river years ago? He had been shot through the head. The man who killed him did so by accident, for he was a bosom friend, yet he could never bring himself to confess the fact, for he dreaded the blame of his townsmen, the anguish of the dead man's parents, the hate of his betrothed. It was believed that the killing was a murder, and that some roving Indian had done it. After years of conscience-darkened life, in which the face of his dead friend often arose accusingly before him, the unhappy wretch vowed that he would never again look his fellows openly in the face. He would pay a penalty and conceal his shame. Then it was that I put a veil between myself and the world." Joseph Moody passed away, and as he wished, the veil still hid his face in the coffin. But the clergyman who raised it for a moment to compose his features found there a serenity and a beauty that were majestic. And that is Father Moody's Black Veil, the story of Reverend Moody of York, Maine, who accidentally murdered his friend, and although he never confessed he did wear the price around his head. This is Dan Scholes with the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere you like to get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com where you'll find a new story waiting for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As always, thank you so much for listening.